See you all next week. Bye-bye.
Insurance Solutions. Their phone number is 866.
Good evening and welcome to Rock, Paper, Hangin' I'm your host, Joshua Solomon, and JP Marzullo is once again out. He is busy on another secret assignment. He's still throwing communists back over the border into Massachusetts. Hopefully we'll see him next week. Rock, Paper, Hand Grenades is sponsored by the Wilson Hill Pistol Club right here in Manchester, New Hampshire. It's the oldest sports shooting club in the state at 1732 Lakeshore Road. You can find them at wilsonhillpistol.org. You can get the training schedule there. We have lots of training. We have open membership. We do not have a waiting list like the majority of other sports shooting clubs in the state. So go ahead and contact us and join up. And with us tonight, we have congressional candidate Brian Cole.
Hello.
And current state rep still for Ward
7 here in Manchester. Yep. Borough 26.
So how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, you're welcome. So you jumped in about a month ago. Is that?
Yeah, at the very beginning of August, we made our announcement. But I've been looking at this race for an awful long time.
Yeah.
And it was always my contention that Chris Pappas was going to move on to Senate and that the seat would be an open seat. So I waited for my opportunity, and the opportunity is here, and I'm going to seize the moment.
Yeah, we've had a lot of candidates, and we've talked about this dynamic that's taking place in New Hampshire right now. Like you said, we got a Senate seat that's going to be open. Mm-hmm. We have Pappas is going to switch and run for that, which
Correct.
means he can't be running for his open spot.
That's right.
And so we've got 2 open spots.
Yeah.
And we've got a chance this time. I mean, we really feel like this is an opportunity.
It is
for conservatives to start sending people back to Washington.
Well, above North Carolina, it's all Democratic except for this one little tiny red dot.
Yeah.
And that's New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And we're fighting to survive. I can tell you there's a disconnect between Concord and Washington right now because Concord is all Republican.
Right.
Washington is all Democratic. They're not talking to to
Yeah,
it's not good.
And that's something we've had Chris Ager on to talk about that.
Yeah.
Where we've concentrated, the state party has concentrated on. We've got a plan in place, and the plan was, first let's get the state under control, and we've done that.
Yep.
Right? We've got a Republican House, a Republican Senate, a Republican executive
supermajority
committee.
in the Senate.
I mean, we are, we've done it. Mm-hmm. Why do we keep losing at the federal level? Right? That's the next step. Okay, we've secured the state. Now let's secure. We keep losing. Is it money? Is it all money?
I think you need a good candidate. I hope that candidate's me.
Well, I hope so too.
There you go. Yeah.
So, what prompted you to get in? I mean, there's obviously several others running. We had one candidate on here a few weeks ago, and he's decided to opt out in favor of a candidate that joined, or he just because. He didn't want the field to get too large.
Right.
Right. And that's something that I think on both sides we do that, right? The Democrats do it too. They get a field that's too large, and when they whittle it down, they it whittles down to someone who's maybe not the best candidate.
Right. And we don't want that to happen.
And we don't want that to happen. We want someone who's steadfast, and someone with a record like yours. I see you've come with some papers to talk about. You've been a representative for 2 terms.
Correct.
And you've introduced quite a few bills. And typically, freshman representatives don't jump in with both feet like that. So tell us about it.
I mean, I've always been interested in politics my whole life, and I was the chairman of the Manchester Republican Committee, the year that we got Jay elected in the city,
nice.
and we got him a Republican board, right? And the following year, we added 4 state rep seats here in Manchester, and we also gained a Senate seat, Victoria Sullivan's seat.
Right.
So I've done the groundwork.
Very happy about that.
Yeah. It's all good things, and
so
everything's
go
headed in the right direction.
Green. You went in understanding the process.
I did. But I have to still say it was like a fire hose of information being shoved down your throat for the first 6 months to a year. It's a lot to absorb there. It's a lot to learn.
We've heard that. Yeah.
And that's why I think I have an edge up above the other candidates. I'm the only one that's going to have any legislative experience going into this race. So
really?
Day one, I'm going to hit the ground running.
We got a lot of candidates who are running primarily on their business experience and their world experience.
Right.
In the whatever industry is their passion that jumped them in.
Well, I could talk about my business experience.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. Where do you come from?
I was born in Concord. Grew up in Raymond. My father was a state trooper and a park ranger at Pawtuckaway State Park in Raymond. Yeah. So I graduated from Raymond High School. Then I went on to Southern New Hampshire University. I have my degree in economics and finance. I also have my degree in accounting. And after I graduated, I took over a business here in Manchester. I had a wholesale company here for 25 years. So I employed local people. I supported the local economy. And what I did, it was a wholesale importer. So I imported tools into the United States, and I sold them to retailers, mostly mom and pop stores throughout the country. It was about 1,300 line items long, mostly just basic stuff, hammers, wrenches, screwdrivers, that kind of stuff. And I did it for 25 years, and I was successful enough last year to retire. So now I'm pursuing this full time.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
So I do have my business background. I got plenty of. I've signed the front of a paycheck and I've signed the back of a paycheck.
It's all here in New Hampshire. So
it's all been here in New Hampshire. I didn't do anything out of state. I've been in New Hampshire my whole life.
That's good. That's good. And so, what is there a particular issue or the timing of this? I mean, obviously we talked about the opportunity. We've got open spots here. What prompted you to join?
I think I have a lot to offer for the state of New Hampshire. I'm going to be a candidate that does things for the people, not for himself. So any of the legislation that you've seen that I've put in New Hampshire this whole time, nothing has ever been self-serving. It's always been for the people. And those are the 3 major things that I'm talking about in this race for New Hampshire. First thing is energy. I'd like to see a micronuclear power plant put next to Seabrook. I think it's time to go nuclear again. The rods in Seabrook still have 95% of the fuel left in them. They can power it for a century. And I also want to put one up in Berlin, because Berlin's economy has been decimated with the wood logging industry.
Now, does Berlin have the geography to put a plant up there?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because we need the water and we need the cooling systems and whatnot. So how do you plan on go about doing that? I mean, we've got Seabrook, and like you said, we've got fuel being stored there.
Yeah. It's already there.
We're not generating any energy out of Seabrook?
Very minimal at this point in time. But I went down to Washington 3 weeks ago, and I met with Brian Kellogg, who's the Deputy Secretary of the Department of Energy. And they're all about doing nuclear. They're willing to even play banker for it. So NextEra doesn't even have to come up with the financing for it. They will finance it for them over 25 years amortized. So they don't even have to come up with the money.
All right, so what's stopping us from moving forward this?
Right now it's NextEra.
EPA, and we got
right now it's NextEra. I'm trying to have a conversation with them, and they canceled our meeting that was supposed to happen this week. So I'm going to probably schedule a meeting up at the State House, and we'll have them talk to us up there.
So is there a reason why they would be reticent to do that? Are they?
You'd have to ask NextEra.
Okay. But no, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Nuclear energy is green energy, and
it's the safest, most reliable, cheapest energy we can possibly produce.
It is.
It is. And in New Hampshire, even if they talk about like doing hydro, the capacity is already reached in New Hampshire. There's no more capacity for hydro in New Hampshire.
Never mind, they're tearing dams down now, right? I mean, we're kind of going backwards on that. But with nuclear, I mean, yeah, there's been some major accidents around the world.
But this is totally different technology.
Understand what took place in those accidents and what the shortcomings were, right? And in the case of Chernobyl, we know that there was there were training issues. There were
even
quality issues
structure itself.
With the structure and whatnot. So there were a lot of avoidable things that were a result of being behind the Iron Curtain, right?
When you're thinking of today's nuclear, you need to think of a nuclear submarine.
Right.
That's about the size of the power plant.
Right.
Those are small modular reactors.
Exactly, and they can power for decades.
Correct.
And we don't have those types of accidents on nuclear subs, right? On U.S.
It's a different technology. It's a better technology. It's come so far today, and everywhere I'm going across the state of New Hampshire and talking about this, people are accepting of nuclear today. It doesn't. I don't think it carries the same stigma that it carried 40 years ago.
See, I personally never thought it carried a stigma in the first place. It was just you didn't educate yourself, and so you fell into the hysteria of.
Correct.
You know, right. So I always thought nuclear was the way to go. There are going to be incidents, right? They occur. Things that are like Fukushima was a.
Again, faulty plant design.
There were faulty designs in the plant. There were faulty designs in the flood retention systems, and there was an earthquake in exactly the right spot. Right. I mean, so there was, the chances of things like that happening are very small.
Correct.
But they do happen. But it is much cleaner than wind power.
Well, all those subsidies are going away,
and
so that's not going to be cheap anymore.
It's not susceptible to, a flash hailstorm destroying 25 acres of solar panels, right? I'm all on board with that. So we talked about energy.
So I don't know if these guys in the booth, did you get our clip at all? I sent over a couple clips by email. No?
We'll have to find out. Did you name them?
I just named them. One's me up in the northern border, so we can talk about the northern border for a second. I don't know if you got that.
Did you send it to me, or did you?
I sent it to the studio.
Oh, okay.
That's all right. They can find it. Well, so the northern border with Canada. We have 58 miles of border with Canada.
Okay.
And I talked with the Sheriff's Department, and we have illegal aliens coming over. They're doing human trafficking. And they're flying pallet loads by helicopter of pot across our border. And they're paying these mules $25,000 a piece to come from New Hampshire. They go down to Lawrence, they cut up the marijuana, then it goes down to New York. They're getting the fentanyl and the cocaine out of New York. It's going back to Lawrence. It's coming back up through New Hampshire up into Canada. That's our problem. So I want to if I get elected to Congress, I want more resources on that northern border. And the reason why I sent a couple pictures tonight, because people don't have any idea of what our northern border is. I was standing literally next to a 3-foot wide stream. So here's New Hampshire, 3 feet. Here's Canada. You just walk right across. It's
a large
completely
portion of the
porous.
northern border is exactly that.
It's just field.
Right?
It's open field and forest.
And I mean, we see that. We see an episode of Northwood's Law, right, where someone's out there hunting on the border, and they have to describe where they were, and the cameras are up there, and you can just walk across the border.
Yeah.
The only place you can't walk across the border is where there's a road.
Right, where the Border Patrol is.
That's the only place they are, right? So, but I got to imagine the Border Patrol's got to be on ATVs and at least patrolling.
When I was up in Pittsburgh,
there's no wall.
There was one person there on duty the whole day for 58 miles. How can one person possibly patrol 58 miles of border?
I'm not. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Like, there has to be something. But so yeah.
The other thing that's
we definitely
frustrating
need to secure that border because it's becoming a more popular entry point now that we're focused. I mean, we are laser focused on the southern border, but we have a northern border that,
it's porous.
It is porous. For a large portion of the year, it's covered in snow, which raises, the it's a very difficult border to cross. It's more difficult than crossing the desert, but it's still doable. But what I don't understand is helicopters. How are we not able to track helicopters? Helicopters are expensive, right? Only
I'm told that they only monitor whatever the tracking system only goes like 1,000 feet and above or something like that, so they're below the radar. They're just flying it right across. And it's the Sheriff's Department that confirmed this. They're like, we didn't think this was real until we saw it happen.
Right.
So I talked to the Hillsborough Sheriff's Department about this.
And this extends across the Vermont border and across the New York border as well. I mean, all of those things. So.
I mean, this is 118 arrests with multiple federally charged, 22,000 grams of fentanyl seized.
And this is in New Hampshire.
This is the border. 1,500 grams of methamphetamine, 8 firearms, and over $170,000 in assets seized over the last 2 years at the New Hampshire border. And that's what they know of with the police department that they have.
Interesting.
So,
and that's coming from Canada into the U.S.?
It's going both ways.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, really all that death is being brought through New Hampshire. It needs to stop. We need to stop the border, stop the cycle. What the other states do.
Is there something we can do at the State House?
Other than just getting more resources up there.
I mean,
that's what it is.
Get some light on this with
boots on the ground.
The governor and I mean, the governor has control over the National Guard. I mean,
she's
National
aware.
Guard is making some inroads other places in the country at the moment, and we're seeing success.
Yeah.
So
she's aware of the border problem because I was up there Saturday in Pittsburgh looking at the border, and then we had an event in Berlin, and she spoke about it at that event in Berlin. So she's aware of what the problem is up there. She's cognizant. Yeah.
All right. So we got a border problem.
We got a problem. We got an energy problem. We got the highest energy prices in the country. So I move on to number 3?
Sure.
All right. So 2 weeks ago, we met with a bunch of billion-dollar biotech companies that are interested in coming into New Hampshire. Because New Hampshire this last year, we changed the right to try law.
Yep.
Which means if you have
we had Lisa Major last week. So
oh, really? So we already talked a little bit about this. So yes.
I want to hear it.
If you have 3 or 4 months to live, you should have every opportunity to try any kind of treatment it is to extend your life or try to live, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that just makes sense. So because we changed those laws, we have the best laws in the country now for this biotech industry, these people that are innovating in this field. So we can talk about one of the laws that I put in tonight, but I wrote a law trying to help out that field to come in, and then Representative Stephen Kesselring also wrote a law that's going to help that industry all come to here. Now, if that industry comes to New Hampshire, it's a $126 billion industry. That's more than the total GDP of the state of New Hampshire.
Right.
That's producing jobs. That's producing good jobs. It'll increase this economy tremendously. And New Hampshire is situated in the best place possible. You get your treatments in New Hampshire, and you're only 45 minutes from the best hospitals in the world. You can go down to Boston and get your recovery down there. But it should be open to people up in New Hampshire. So this is next generation stuff. This is amazing. I met with a company called Epibone, and they're actually growing bone here in New Hampshire right now. And what my bill has to do with chronic diseases. So say you were running your whole life and your cartilage is gone in your knees, they can grow your cartilage back. You don't have to have surgery anymore. You blow out your rotator cuff, they can grow the cartilage back in your rotator cuff.
Wait, not a transplant?
Not a transplant. Your own cartilage. They'll grow it back in your body.
They what do they do? Give you an injection and your body starts regenerating things?
There you go.
That's Star Trek stuff.
It's now though, but it's not Star Trek stuff, but it's happening now. That's where we are. And I want New Hampshire to be the brain trust of the biofield in the United States, and there's no reason why we can't be. So we tweak a couple of these laws, and these companies are going to come here. This is the longevity community. These are the people that want to live,
Right.
Be proactive in their health. It's that kind of stuff. So that's next level stuff.
So this company is growing bone cartilage.
Bones and bone cartilage. Yeah.
And are they I guess I'd have to.
One of the problems he wants federally, if I get elected to Congress, is he wants to patent the process for doing the bones, because right now he has to get each bone certified. You know how many bones are in the human body? I don't know, a couple hundred. Yeah, it's quite a few. Yeah. It's a lot. The process should be patented, so that's something that I would work on for him up in Congress.
So they have to get every single bone certified when they grow it before they can use it somewhere?
I guess so, something like that. It's very
patent
cumbersome right now.
Well, I would think I would want a bone to be certified before I accept it into my body anyway.
But I mean, once the process is approved, then the process is approved. I mean, growing a rib is growing a rib. Growing a toe bone is growing a toe bone, right?
Right.
So.
Right. Oh, yeah. Get your toe cut off, grow it right back.
It's crazy stuff, isn't it? There's another company that's going to be coming in from Europe in a couple weeks. And right now they're using a nanotechnology that they inject into your body. And they're treating certain types of cancer with that nanotechnology. It traps onto the cells. It's 98% effective in curing cancer.
Suffocates the cell. Yeah.
98% effective.
That's incredible.
That's incredible.
Are they doing human trials?
I don't know. They're coming here, so I don't know. This is almost like a little teaser.
They're looking at New Hampshire as...
They look at New Hampshire as the only place that they can do it in the United States.
Right.
So, you start curing cancer here in New Hampshire. Oh, hello. That'll put you on the map.
Right. Good.
Yeah, so those are my three big major things. I'm also working with Al Baldessaro, who used to be a state representative in New Hampshire.
We've had Al on the show a few times. He's
really?
in
Cool.
Florida.
Well, I'm trying to carry his torch forward on the veterans issues.
Awesome.
So there's a
We're big on veterans issues here.
Oh, great. So in Farmington, there's a trust that's willing to donate 100 acres of land in order to build a VA state-of-the-art hospital here in New Hampshire. And right now it's being held up by the EPA in Washington. So I'm working with him in Washington.
Frog on that land that they don't want to kill?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. Just they haven't moved forward. I don't know what the holdup is. So we're trying to push that initiative forward in Washington. So I'm working on that too. That's very, very preliminary stages, but it's exciting and it's something that we deserve to give to our veterans here in New Hampshire.
And where is that going to be?
Farmington, Rochester area.
Oh, okay.
So main local area right there. Be a nice community.
And it'll be a full service.
It'll be everything. It'll be state of the art, the best.
Ours here in Manchester is not a full service, right?
No, and there's a lot of things that they have to do that they have to go outside of New England in order to get.
Right.
So, they should have those opportunities here.
Right.
And if we have that facility here, then all of New England can have that facility here.
Right.
Right. They don't have to travel out. So that's an initiative that I want to put forward.
That's another good one.
So there's 4 for you. 4 off the top of my head.
Tell us about bail reform. You sponsored the bail reform.
We were on 2 different bail reforms. So the first one was in 2023, and that was during the height of the opioid crisis here in Manchester. So that particular bail reform ended up reducing the number of lives lost in Manchester by 500 people. We saved 500 lives that year with that piece of legislation.
As a bail reform?
As a bail reform piece of legislation. Getting people in and detoxing them and that kind of stuff.
So one of the things that I've been harping on since they went to no cash bail, and I've said it on this show 100 times, is that contributed to everything we saw in Manchester and everything we still see a little bit of it. It contributed to the drug abuse. It contributed to the homelessness, because what happens when you get arrested for something? You get arrested for narcotics or whatnot, whether you're dealing or using or you're just in possession of it, is that you end up getting booked. You end up getting held. And while you're being held, let's say you get booked on a Friday night. Well, you're held until Monday until you sit in front of a judge. During that time, you're detoxing. And you're being exposed to all the programs that the facilities have, right? We have pastors come in on the show and talk about their missionary into jails, right? And so there are volunteers that go into these jails all across New Hampshire, and they offer detox programs. They offer Alcoholics Anonymous programs. They offer faith programs. And when you're being held, you are detoxing and you're being exposed to these programs that are helpful to you.
And the county really has some of the best detox programs
exactly
in the whole state.
But
so
when you go to no cash bail, all of a sudden, you're in and out in less than an hour. Yeah. So you're not detoxing in a safe place. You're not being exposed to the faith programs. You're not being exposed to the detox programs. And all it did was contribute to it. Oh, I can be out in an hour. Well, I'm going to go back and buy some more.
There's no consequence.
Right? The cops took my needles, but I can still go get more.
Yeah.
Right? And
I have a problem with that too.
So.
I mean, I understand the program, but not to the extent that they're doing it. Yeah.
I had been saying all along that we need to get rid of that because it contributed, it made everything worse. It made crime and drug abuse in New Hampshire worse. And I'm very happy that that went through.
Yeah.
So you said there were two of them.
There were two of them. The first one was the life-saving bill, like I said, in 23. And this last one is the one that you're talking about, stops the revolving door. Right. So it actually, we signed it, I think, like in March. And it took about 6 months for all the departments and everything to get in line with all the new language and everything. But it went into effect September 24th. So the cash bill's gone.
That's good. That's good.
I think the city of Manchester in the next couple of months is going to see a remarkable change.
Right. We're
the revolving door
a week,
is done.
2 weeks in
just getting
on it,
into it.
So we're just getting
into it.
But the door's going to stop.
Yep.
Folks are going to be detoxed and exposed to the programs and the help that they need.
Yes.
They're going to be offered that help that they need.
Yes.
Because, people do bad things. They need to be arrested. They need to be held accountable for it. But at the same time, we also have to break the cycle and get them the help they need, right? We have to be, that's the compassion part.
Yep.
Right? You got to be held responsible for what you're doing, but we also want to help you get out of what you're doing. So, all right, you've got a big list there.
Well, I got all kinds of stuff. I didn't know what you wanted to talk about. You had mentioned...
I'm ready to talk about everything.
All right. So you mentioned when I got here before we started the show about TPLF. So yes. TPLF is third-party litigation financing. Yes. And what is third-party litigation financing? I'll tell you where this all came about.
When you get litigation and finance in the same sentence, that's scary. Because we all know we're in a litigious society, right? Class action suits here, everybody sues over everything, and nobody gets ahead except for the lawyers. Right? I mean, that's a stand-up comics joke that's been going on for 30 years.
Yep.
Right? So what is this TPLO?
It's third-party litigation financing. So it's when two people have a lawsuit. There's a third party that gets involved in the lawsuit that has no interest in the lawsuit other than making a financial gain. So you're talking about hedge funds, these kind of things. Hedge funds. Hedge funds are investing into our law system in order to make...
How does a third party make money by jumping into something that's none of their business?
Because they're going to finance it all, and then they say, we're going to want 90% of your settlement when it's done, or we're going to want 100% of your settlement when it's done if you can't bring the lawsuit forward by yourself. It's predatory.
So these class action lawsuits that are $100 million or $1 billion to a drug company or to...
It's because these hedge funds are involved, and they're pushing it towards litigation instead of settling. You understand? So they can make more money if they push it towards litigation. That's why you're getting these like nuclear verdicts out of the DCYF stuff. That's where this all came from. I was on a special committee last summer that involved with nonprofits trying to contract with DHHS to provide services to at-risk youth in the state of New Hampshire. And they can't do it right now because they can't afford the insurance. And the reason why they can't afford the insurance is because of these lawsuits. So it has to do with underwriting in the insurance industry. So all this legislation says, we're saying you can do it. We're not saying you can't do it, but we want to know who's doing it, right? That's the rub. And there's a couple guardrails.
And how does knowing who...
Because they can assess the risk, right? Who are these the ones?
Change the variables.
Yeah.
Right?
They want to know.
Does it matter who's... All right. I want to go after Big Pharma. And I know that I have a legitimate case.
Yep.
Right? I was hurt by one of their products or I was misled or whatnot. I have a legitimate case. The problem is if I go and sue Big Pharma, they're going to bury me in costs.
Yeah, because you don't have the money to.
I don't have the money
Right.
for the lawyers and the legal fees that it takes to go after them. But I have something legitimate, and so that's what you're talking about. Someone else comes in and says, hey, we'll give you the money, we will fund everything,
Sure.
but you owe us whatever it is on the other end.
And you may end up with nothing going through all of that because there's no cap on it. There's no cap on these things. The other part of the problem is foreign involvement. So you have foreign entities like China and Russia involving themselves in our lawsuits. And why are they doing that? Because as a third party, they're part of discovery in the lawsuits. We don't want that to happen anymore.
Oh.
That's one of the guardrails that's in this TPLF.
So if there's a lawsuit, let's say...
sensitive information of whatever
information.
nature.
I'm suing SpaceX because a piece of junk fell in my backyard, right?
There you go.
Or NASA or whatnot.
Yep.
We're talking about rocket technology that our competitors don't have, that our
Whatever it is.
adversaries don't have.
Yeah.
But if I allow myself to be funded by the Chinese, like you said, they'll
be part of discovery.
In discovery, in which case...
They'll have access to all that information.
Okay, I get you. So
That's a little scary, isn't it?
but there are legitimate reasons why I may want to go and seek funding,
Sure.
right?
And
Because I can't
we're not
afford
saying
it.
you can't do it.
And so I don't want to lose that ability to do that.
Yeah. And you
But
will.
you're saying that we're going to control who I can get funding from?
No, we're just saying, no. We don't care who the funding is. We're just saying the only people that can't get themselves involved in the lawsuit is foreign entities.
Just foreign entities?
Yeah, as part of discovery. That's the guardrail. Yeah.
Okay.
No, if you want to pursue that, you are more than welcome to do that. And we're not saying no. We just want to know who's funding it. That's all we want to know.
Okay. Are there cases taking place right now where people are being funded, but it's just not disclosed ever?
Yes. And it's happening right now in New
And
Hampshire.
how do we know this?
Because they've come and they testified before the committee when we ran this through. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's happening right now in New Hampshire.
And
There's a commercial aspect to it, and there's like a kind of like more like a consumer end of it. You know?
And so the dangerous side of this is, like you said, there's discovery, where we've got people who are involved in a lawsuit who don't necessarily need to be involved except for monetary reasons.
Correct.
And they're going to be exposed to information that they shouldn't be exposed to.
Most probably.
So that's one piece of it.
Yeah.
The other side of it is, what if I'm not really interested in pursuing my case? I just want to be done with the whole thing. I'm done, right? I don't want to pursue my case. But I got somebody tapping me on the shoulder and waving a bunch of cash in front of me.
Sure.
Hey, you can have this cash if you just move forward on your case.
That's right.
And so
That's
now we
kind
have...
of like dangling a little carrot.
Now we have a situation where the only reason I'm even in this is because I'm getting money, and I really don't have a real case. It's a frivolous case. Even I think so.
Yeah.
But I'm making good like it's not frivolous because I want money.
If you have nothing invested in the situation, then and you might get a chance to make some money on it.
So we have a whole bunch of class action suits and these big, huge lawsuits taking place that really don't need to be taking place in the first place.
And that's where this all came from, with those nonprofits contracting. So there's over 1,400 abuse cases that we know of from the DCYF fallout. So New Hampshire is categorized as an infernal lawsuit state.
And so tell us what that means.
It means there's a ton of litigation hanging out there, and if you keep having nuclear verdicts of $20 million, $22 million, you're going to bankrupt the state.
So are we talking about these mostly being suits against the state or suits against or
Any kind of lawsuit.
We're gonna leave it at any
kind of lawsuit.
any kind of civil
Yep.
where there's money involved.
Correct. So it's very, very predatory. It's not good. It's a bad
So
practice.
is that one that's been introduced? Has it passed? Or tell me what
It passed the House twice. It passed the Senate. Then it passed the House again. Then it went on to Committee of Conference, and the Senate didn't take it up. So I put this legislation back in again in September.
Okay.
But this particular piece of legislation is something that I would bring to Washington. There's already 16 states that have passed this kind of law. So I think it should be. I think it
So
should
what
be
are
a
those
federal
16
law.
states doing? Are they doing this similar, just saying, hey, no foreign entities?
No foreign
Or there are
entities,
other
and
rules
we
that-
want reporting.
What
We
are the
just want it.
guardrails?
Yeah,
Okay.
and there's not any extra reporting than they already do to the court system, anyways. So it's not like they're doing any extra work. The information's already there. We're not asking for numbers or anything like that. We just want to know who's doing it. Very, very simple. Yeah. Well, you would think it would be simple, but
I would also think it would be simple to get by it, right? Like, if I bring a lawsuit and I'm the one signing the checks to everybody, I'm signing the checks to the courts for the legal fees, and I'm signing the checks to my lawyers for legal fees, and you ask me who's funding me, and I say, well, it's me. How do you guard against that,
that I don't know.
right? If someone's
Legally, I have no idea how that would work.
throwing me a bunch of cash behind the scenes,
I would think you would have to report that.
but how would you prevent me from not reporting it?
I don't know.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
That's a good
here.
one.
I mean, that seems like the next logical
Yeah.
round here is so now you have to mandate financial disclosure, right? In the same way that
Well,
you
financial
would do,
disclosure
you
is
have
part
to
of the
do that
court case
anyway.
anyways.
You have to disclose all of your finances and
Yeah, it's already part of
and
this.
your.
Yeah, actually, you just answered your own question.
Yeah.
It's already
Okay.
reported anyways. Yeah.
All right, I just money laundering exists. It can happen, and anyone willing to fund a 20 or 40 or $100 million lawsuit is probably versed in money laundering.
I would think so. Yeah. There's some deep pockets.
So, how did that one come to your attention? Was it the DCYF or?
It was the DCYF. It was the nonprofits contracting with DCYF. So I'm sorry, nonprofits contracting with DHHS. So, say like 5 years ago, like Waypoint was handling like 300 at-risk youth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they're down to like less than 50 because they can't afford the insurance premiums. So if an insurance premium costs you $1,000 a month because it's childcare, right? It's like $10,000 a month now. It's that
And the insurance
that
premiums
particular
went
sector is at risk right now
because of the
of
settlements
the lawsuits.
Of the
Yes,
lawsuits.
it's called a tort tax.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
That's the right term. It's
Okay.
tort tax. So I mean, now it's affecting daycares, like childhood daycares are not being able to afford the insurance now. So it's having a lot of ramifications. So it's something that needs to be fixed. And the insurance commissioner, Commissioner Betancourt, is behind this. So he's fully in support of this legislation because he knows it'll help mitigate those costs.
Well, if all we have to do is report who's behind it, are we looking? It's not going to stop them from doing the funding.
Nope.
Unless they're a foreign entity.
Unless they're a foreign entity.
So it doesn't stop them from doing the funding. So what's the?
You'd have to ask underwriting. I don't know what their secret formula is.
Well, I guess what I'm getting at is what's the deterrent from this continuing the way it is, just with an extra piece of paper? Okay, I can fund you, but I also have to submit this one piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that maybe these folks don't want anyone to know that they're funding it?
I would have to say absolutely they don't want them to know they're funding it. It was a New York firm that hired a lobbyist here in New Hampshire in order to create problems for me up in Concord. So you already got an out-of-state firm that's messing around with our laws up here in New Hampshire.
We've had a lot of out-of-state firms and out-of-state money messing around with our politics here in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
So, all right. What else?
What else do we have? Okay, so I found out there's a place called, there's a bureau called Right of Way in the New Hampshire DOT. And the New Hampshire DOT, the right of way is like when they're building off ramps and stuff like that, or when they wanted to put the northern pass through, they own a bunch of land.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
They
so
own the right of way.
They own the right of way, so they own
It's like-
all kinds of pieces of land.
It's
all
like
over.
the 3-foot setback on your front yard.
Yeah.
They can pave, they
Yeah.
can put a telephone pole or
Or
whatnot.
this how many acres they need for an off ramp that they never
Right.
built, or it's that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So there's over 700 parcels that they own, the state of New Hampshire owns, so they're not doing anything with. So what I want to do is I wrote a bill. They had a bill for surplus land housing program, but it's been since 1988, and there's some barriers to them using the property. So I'm trying to get rid of the barriers. What I want to do is give this land back to the town at cost, with the caveat that they have to build housing on it, because we have a housing problem here in the state of New Hampshire. So this is a carrot.
So we give the land back to the individual municipalities.
With the caveat that they have to build housing on it.
And how would the towns build housing on it? They would just go and find contractors?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean,
this land has to be used for housing,
that would be the stipulation.
Not for any other, like, it can't be a new police station, it can't be a new school, it can't be for a playground, it has to be for housing. Yep, okay.
Yeah.
And so are all of these right-of-ways, are they located?
All over the place. They're not necessarily located next to highways and stuff like that. They're everywhere.
Yeah, so,
like even the Northern Pass stuff, there's probably a lot that's just in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
But if you're building, like, housing and stuff like that, you build a community up there. So that's one of the things that I want to do is I want to incentivize the towns. I don't like doing the zoning stuff. I want to give them an opportunity here's an opportunity. Take advantage of it. Here's the carrot.
Good.
Yeah.
And you said there were some roadblocks in the way of getting that done.
Yeah, it has to do with land that was federally owned. So it has to do with federal dollars. So it's kind of like repaying the federal government back for the land.
I got you.
We have to rewrite it so it works properly, and they're allowed to do it.
I got you.
So if we have to do some tweaking, but I mean the law's like 40 years old. So
housing is another thing that we've talked about quite a bit here. We've had state reps on both sides of the issues. I mean, we weren't even 100% aligned on the conservative side of the aisle on some of these housing reform bills that have gone through. My contention is that we can do a lot to give those opportunities to the towns, right? We've got the ADUs are in place now.
Yep.
And if we give these right-of-way lands back to the towns, we've got that as well. But building new housing, whether it be townhouses, apartment buildings, doesn't matter what it is, I don't think the cost is ever going to go down again.
Well, I met with a company in Rochester. It's called Madco.
A one-bedroom apartment is $2,800 a month. Yeah. And that's with no extras. You still got to pay your utilities and whatnot. That's insane, right? And it got insane in a very short period of time, like in the last 3 years.
Sure.
But I don't see that ever going down, because if you're building new buildings, the taxes never go down. The builder has materials, he has all of his expenses, all the people he has to pay. So when he sells the building is going to be expensive. When the new landlord comes in, he's got to make all that up. He's got new taxes. I don't see the cost going down. I see the amount of available room going up, but I don't see the cost going down.
So there's a company called Madco in Rochester.
Okay.
Are
they mad?
You might think so. They 3D screen print houses with cement.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so.
All right, so
think of this: there's a duplex, so 2-bedroom duplex side by side, and they're attached in the middle with a garage for each side.
Okay.
The whole duplex, completely built, is $250,000. That's $125,000 a side for a 2-bedroom house. Now, if that's not affordable housing, I don't know what is.
Well, that's affordable
People
housing.
need to know that these technologies exist. These programs exist. I would reach out to that company in Rochester and say, hey, build me a house for $250,000 or a duplex for $250,000. They just built one here in Manchester. They're about to do a ribbon cutting on here. It's amazing what they can do. And they can build these houses like in a couple of days. All you need is a cement slab, and it's really cool. It comes on a trailer, and there's this big robotic arm that just goes around in a pattern and just squirts the pattern all up. It's amazing. The cement is like twice as strong as regular cement. It has insulating properties, has an R value.
Nice.
It's just
And that's a
It's
company
cool.
right here in Rochester.
Right here in
I've seen
Rochester, New Hampshire.
I've seen video of cement houses being built,
Yeah.
and they print in like a double row, and so that then you spray insulation inside, and
Exactly.
and that
All your
middle is
wiring
where
and all your tubing and
wiring
everything
is
like
in
that.
there.
Yeah. It's next level. It's just
And are these single floor? Like, tell me about.
yeah. I think it was they were single floor. I don't know how high they can go yet.
And so they print them out, but is the 120, is the 250, is that all in? It's
With roof and electricity and plumbing and everything. Yeah.
So the interior's all done,
Yeah,
all
you're
the
done.
sheetrock's up.
250. You got a duplex.
Okay. Nice.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It is pretty amazing.
So more people need to know about this kind of stuff. So it's out there. It's available to them. You just got to find it, right?
Yeah. So again, that's where I was going. Like, it's hard to build things that Your bail reforms signed.
Bail
We
reforms
got-
are signed. I did a Keno. I expanded Keno to 24/7.
Oh, I like that. I saw that one too. I meant to ask you about that.
Thank
So
you.
that's
That was
good.
me.
I'm a
That was all me.
I'm a Keno guy, and I know I don't go broke doing it. In fact, I'm actually winning more than I'm losing at the moment. I'm up.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I paid for dinner a couple of times. So my wife and I took turns winning. $100 here, $100, and then a $400 winner. So,
The next couple of months,
we're
you'll
just
be able to
paying
play
for
anytime
dinner.
you want.
So
It'll be 24/7 pretty
well,
soon.
it goes late into the evening anyway. doesn't
Yeah, it goes to 1, but it doesn't start till 11 o'clock in the morning. And my whole thing was,
the 11 a.m.
yeah, 11 a.m. is when it starts. Well, my whole thing is when I go out with the guys for breakfast on the weekends.
Yeah.
Why can't I play Keno while I'm sitting there having breakfast, right?
So before COVID, my favorite breakfast joint was
Chez Vachon?
was a victim of COVID.
Oh.
And no longer exists.
Oh, that's too bad.
But my family and I would go there. So me and my wife, our kids and our grandkids, we would have 10 or 12 of us. And we had our own spot. They had a back room with a big table. They expected us every Sunday. And they had scratch ticket machines. We'd all play scratch tickets over breakfast. But I couldn't play Keno.
Right. Well, soon you'll be able to.
Okay.
It'll be all good. I did that one, and then another one that I worked on was I legalized air rifles for hunting big game here in New Hampshire.
I saw that one too. I don't know why I didn't hear it. So,
Well, see, I'm on a roll, man.
Our friend Gary Hopper, original host of this show,
Yeah.
he sponsored legislation years ago to be able to hunt game with a pistol and use, large caliber, 50 caliber pistol, 45 caliber to hunt game. And one of the big barriers to that was the whole cruelty thing, right? Are you using
You would be ethical
Are you using something that is powerful enough
to put the animal
to
down.
put the animal down? And so tell me about that with air rifles. That discussion had to come up.
That discussion did come up, and initially Fishing Game wasn't for it. So what I did is I contracted with SIG Firearms over in Epping.
Okay.
And then we had
Another local.
another local company, right? And then we had a air rifle company come up, and we tested the air rifles. So they had from 30 caliber up to 54 caliber.
Okay.
So during this testing, we actually had a I forget what it's called, those gel blocks.
Yep.
Right? So we had one of those. We were shooting into it. We discovered that the velocity from the 30 caliber probably did not have enough power in order to put an animal down ethically.
Okay.
So, like other states, there's only a couple other states, I believe. I think it's Colorado and Maine have legalized air rifles, maybe another one or so. But they all did it to caliber. Through our testing, we discovered it was foot-pounds of energy.
Right.
So in New Hampshire,
It'd be logical for any gun guy, right?
we wrote it as foot-pounds instead of
Yes.
caliber. So it'll be 200 pounds of foot pressure higher. You can use it for hunting big game in New Hampshire. So right now that eliminates the 30 caliber. But if a 30 caliber comes along, technology comes along that
That has that
can
much
handle
pressure behind it.
200
Right.
pounds,
Yeah.
then you'll be able to use it. But the 40 caliber up to the 50 caliber, you should have seen the damage that thing did. And
Yep.
we had a velocimeter.
Yep.
So we took like 5 shots to make sure that you didn't lose a bunch of range and
Yep.
didn't lose it. Lost hardly any pressure at all. I mean, they're single shots. It's almost like a muzzleloader.
Right.
And we wrote it so it's gonna be like a separate tag. So if you're going hunting, you want to get like your archery license, or you can get your air rifle license, right? Because it's a specialized field.
Right.
So it'll be its own little tag. And we gave Fish and Game all the rulemaking ability to do however they want to do it. So it ended up passing. And
So did Fishing Game come around on it?
they absolutely came around,
Yep.
and Kevin Jordan, the colonel, came and testified before us up in Concord, and yeah, he was impressed with the way we did it, and we worked with him. We worked with the department. We made sure that they had everything that they wanted to have. We did the testing. We did it the right way.
Yep.
A lot of people don't
And that-
realize how much there's involved in writing a piece of legislation and bringing the legislation forward and get something signed.
So does that go into effect?
It is.
It's already in effect? So someone can hunt with an air rifle
As
now?
as soon- no, well, as
the
soon as Fish and
policies-
Game-
Fish and Game hasn't done their part.
Once they
with
figure out how they're going to do it,
with the policies.
but we gave them the ability to do the rulemaking, and they'll roll it out how they see fit.
Okay.
So it'll be here by next year.
I can predict that will be very popular for a couple of different reasons.
Noise.
Air rifles are going to be less expensive.
The 40 caliber was only $400.
Yeah.
That's not expensive for a weapon.
And the noise, right? You're not busting your eardrums out, and you're not annoying the neighbors.
That's right.
Right? So
yeah, we didn't have to use any ear protection while we were testing the rifles, and that's one of the things the Fish and Game brought up.
that's
two
a health
points.
issue too, right? I mean, that's one of the big reasons behind silencers, which don't silence anything, by the way, if you're educated. All it does is reduce the noise. Anyone using a silencer, you can still hear it from 100 yards away, right?
Yep.
It's not movie theater stuff, but.
So hunting in high density areas, you don't have the noise. And then also like places like, there's a couple islands that I know that are archery only.
Okay.
And they can't control the deer population because it's archery only. Well, you'd be able to use air rifles, right? Because you're not going to be able to hear the air rifles either.
Well, that's
it was a noise abating
Game
thing.
puts that rule in place to use the air rifles.
Oh, they will.
Yeah. But yeah,
So it's pretty interesting stuff, huh?
yeah, that's good.
So I've been a busy bee up there. You know?
Yeah, like I said, that's pretty busy for someone who's a fairly new state rep. A two-term rep doesn't really do this much because, like I said, we had Lisa Major here last week, and she had a few bills, and they were very contentious bills.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and she opted to go for some very contentious bills as her first bill.
And she got it done.
And her description of what she went through, the anxiety, the back and forth, the hate mail, I mean, that's all the external stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff all the administrative stuff internally within the House and within all of the admin offices to get all the writing approved it's a big hurdle, and you've done it several times, and you're still game to do it again.
Yeah, I think that's why Sherman Packard, Speaker of the House, gave me his endorsement last week.
That's good. That's good. Well, and I saw you do have a lot of endorsements. So
yeah, over 50 state reps have endorsed me.
Why don't you tell our guests where they can find that list of endorsements and how they can contact you and how they can support you, because we are out of time.
Oh, okay. Cole for New Hampshire, COL4NH.com. That's my website. You can go on there. You can see everything that I talked about today. You can see my complete endorsement lists. You can see all my positions and everything where I stand. And if you want to look me up at the State House, you can see all the legislation that I've worked on in the past. I'm the Vice Chair of Housing for the state of New Hampshire up there in Concord. So we have 71 bills coming up this next session.
For your committee.
Yeah. So we got a lot of legislation that we're going to be listening to, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm doing some good things up there.
All right. Well, thanks for being on, and good luck.
Thank you.